Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Matt with Firewood in the Field. Today, I've got a little showdown for you between two different splitters. We got the Ram Splitter H34 with a dedicated log lift table, Prince auto cycle valve, adjustable four-way wedge, and the box door splitter with the Gorilla Back log lift. This might be a good option, the Gorilla Back log lift, if you already have a beam style splitter and you don't want to invest in another machine or to upgrade to a machine with a hydraulic table. So I'm going to put them both in action today. Let me flip the camera around and show you what the plan is. All right, we'll do a quick overview of both machines and I'll show you the logs that I'm going to grab. I do have the box store hooked to a garden tractor. Just going to be easier to put it away if I just leave it hooked up. But you've seen in my previous videos where I use the Gorilla Back log lift. I use it on my truck, actually more than my log splitter. I thought I'd give a good demonstration today of how it works on a log splitter. I did bring a set of tongs to try in addition to that little anchor wheel, and I'll show you all that in a few minutes. The other machine is my Ram Splitter H34. It is electric start, Prince Auto Cycle. It's quite a bit more machine than the box store splitter, obviously. But it doesn't mean it's the be-all, end-all. You know, it is a push-through style versus the box store machine. You know, you stand there with the round and you bust pieces off because the wedge is on the ram. All this oak I have right here, this was 2 black oak trees, and I'll post links to my previous videos. All these logs are from the same 2 trees. I'm going to pick 2 pieces the same size for each splitter. I'm going to line them up and do a time test of splitting 2 rounds on this machine and then 2 rounds on that machine. I'm going to start with this machine because my shade line is only getting larger, so I'll be in the shade all the way, and we'll time it. So it'll be a good comparison. It's not always about how fast you go. It's also about comfort, ease, safety. There's a whole lot of things involved. So I'm going to put the camera down and pick out the rounds and get the camera set back up when it's time to go. Okay, here are the first 2 rounds for each machine. I think they're sister rounds. You see how that's got an extra little knot there? That's got an extra little knot there. I believe this was the same cut. They're also stacked back and forth from each other in this row. They are both, see that one's coming in at 21. This one's rolled over on its short side. But yeah, no, they're both coming in as close as you can get. This one is a hair longer. The cut was at a little bit of an angle. So this one's 17 at the longest, tapering to 16. And this one is 16 on the money, tapering a little bit, not quite as much. So the one that's slightly longer and has a little bit more of the knot, I'm going to put on the Ram Splitter, since the Ram Splitter has so many more features to make it a stronger machine. So I'm going to roll that piece over to the other splitter. Some of y'all might get a kick out of this. The timer I'm going to use is an old Windows phone. Well, if any of y'all remember this smartphone, the Windows phone, I've had it. I'll picture my kids, the old Windows platform. I actually really liked this. They just didn't support it. But the battery is so, I haven't used it in years. I've got to have it plugged into this power bank or it won't even stay on long enough to run the timer. Okay, just about set up, got a plan to get started. So I've got my first 2 rounds staged on the Ram Splitter to run it. And the way I'm going to do this to try to be as fair as possible, don't roast me too bad in the comments. I know this isn't going to be perfect. It won't be an exact apples to apples, but here's what I'm going to do as far as my starting procedure to try to make it as equal as possible. For the Ram Splitter, what I'm going to do is, it's electric start, I'm going to start the engine and then walk around here where I have the timer, my phone, that old phone, start the timer, and then immediately put on my gloves and start to work. I'm not going to have anything loaded on the tray or anything like that. And then I'll do the same for the box door splitter. Of course, it's a pull start. I'll get that engine started. I'll hit start on the timer. I'll put on my gloves, and then I will pull down the cable. I won't even pull the cable down just to make it fair, so it's an apples to apples. So I am just going to use, you've seen it in some of my other videos, the little screw-on anchor. It takes a few more minutes than tongs, but if I have enough daylight after the video's done, I'll get my tongs and I'll try to put a log on the splitter to show you what struggles I have with that. So, and to be honest, I've never tried to use the tongs with my splitter. I've tried to use it loading logs into my truck, and what I found was the tongs were too long. The round, I couldn't get the round high enough because that That boom isn't really tall. Might work for the splitter though. But that's enough talking. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So quick recap. Start engine. Start timer. Put on gloves, go to work. That's going to be the plan. All right, here we go. Well, hearing protection and eye protection before I even start. 15 minutes and 33 seconds. All in all, some mistakes I made there. That big piece that fell off, of course, had I not let that happen, would have been a bit faster. But that's a real world example. Go look at some of my other videos where I'm using this machine to split some really big hackberry. And sometimes when you got that big piece up there, you just got to wrangle with it. Now these pieces aren't as big. Those were 30-inch plus diameter rounds that I was splitting instead of 21-inch. I'm going to get the camera set up. I'm going to move the tote to a better position for the other splitter and get set up and get going. Okay, I'm set up for the 2 rounds on the box door splitter with the gorilla back. I've got my 2 rounds staged. I'm going to do the little round first, just kind of make sure the splitter is good and warmed up, and then I'll do the big round after that. And I'm going to follow the same protocol I did with the other machine. I'm going to reset the timer. I'm going to have it on the seat of the garden tractor. It's just off the camera, but it's only 2 steps away. It's the only place I got to set it down besides the ground, and I don't want to step on it. I'm going to start the engine, walk over, start the timer, and put on my gloves and go to work. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Time to get to work. done with the regular splitter was 24 minutes and 5 seconds. So 24 minutes for this machine, 15 minutes for the other. If you factor in my goof ups with the other machine, it's about what I was expecting. I was expecting the machine with the log lift and the auto cycle valve to be faster. It's an 18 horsepower engine with a bigger pump. First thoughts, first impressions on the experiment today. So I'm gonna say that the big round was actually easier to do on the box door splitter with the gorilla back. And the reason I say that was I didn't have to wrestle with it nearly as much. If you were watching, you saw when I loaded the bigger one on there, I adjusted it. You try to guess where the split's gonna go, but I tried to angle the anchored point to where it was beyond the other side of me from the split, hoping that the split would come up towards me. And then that whole half a piece of the log, half piece of the round, I just swung it out there and it just hung out there in space on its own. But being able to just swing that chunk out of the way and then just work like normal, I found it to be less strenuous splitting the bigger piece on the box door machine with the log lift or with the gorilla back versus the machine with the dedicated. You know, it's just a difference of opinion. It's not anything that's hard science, but you know, the ram splitter with the push through style, every time you push it through, you have to bring the piece back, split it again, bring the piece back, split it again. Whereas with this machine, you know, you can kind of hug that round up next to you and pop chunks off and toss them in the tote. So I could have had tote placement a little better for each machine. It wasn't optimal for either. If I was going for some kind of third of a chord challenge or something, I would probably re-look at how I have that arrangement set up. But for today, it was good enough. So that's my first thoughts. The ram splitter was faster. The log lift table, the auto cycle valve, all that actually produced the wood a little bit faster. But I found less physical effort manhandling the big log with the box door splitter and the gorilla back. If you're still watching, I really appreciate it. I'd appreciate it even more if you consider to hit those like and subscribe buttons, maybe that bell icon to get notified when I post this kind of content. And let me know what you think. Give me some responses. If there's a different way you want to see me try to use this gorilla back, a different type of wood. I will say personal experience, 30 inches about as big as I dare go with it. It's probably over the weight limit, to be honest, depending on the species of wood. So again, do that at your own risk. I am just an idiot that likes to make firewood, so don't do what I do. But leave me a comment if there's something you want to see, another comparison with this machine in another manner. So, thanks for watching. Matt, Firewood in the Field. See you next time.